My dear brothers in iron, if you truly despise volume work, yet you perform it on a weekly basis because your goal is to get larger muscles, well, allow me to offer you an alternative solution. Now, whether this is optimal or not is up for you to decide. Either way, I'm sharing with you this solution which will allow you to get bigger and stronger without having to do crazy volume workouts. So with that said, I want you to first recognize that volume in a single session is not the end all be all, okay? What really matters in the long run is total workload throughout the week. So whether you are acquiring that volume through training twice a week versus 5 times a week, you're unlikely to see a major difference in muscle size, okay? Now, there might be other differences related to strength performance, as we've seen in the Norwegian study, where higher frequency was correlated with more strength progression, since you are treating the lift as a skill and each set is really maximized. But beyond that, in terms of like hypertrophy, if you equate total workload throughout the week, so you're dividing into smaller sessions, you should yield similar hypertrophy results. It should be very, very similar, and it's not something that I would stress over. So that said, if you despise volume days, do not like crisscrossing your workouts every 72 hours, well, the solution is to simply increase training frequency. That's all you have to do, my friend. And that is precisely why people who run Bulgarian-like programs retain their muscle mass. Now, they might not retain the work capacity, and they will likely fail at doing high volumes in one session. But if we're talking about hypertrophy here throughout the entire week, they will continue to gain muscle and their strength will obviously increase at an exponential rate. So all I'm trying to suggest today is that if you really despise volume workouts, increase your training frequency. So if you're used to doing a full body workout twice a week, maybe naturally enhanced style, like a Monday, Thursday, or a Tuesday, Friday, well, maybe you could do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So you increase it to 3 times a week, but now you make the sessions a little bit shorter. So you subtract an exercise per body part, right? And that would also mean that you subtract the sets and the reps. So you can actually get away with doing a lower volume approach. In fact, that could also mean doing one all-out set and training every single day. Matter of fact, if you do Bulgarian Light, which is 90% of your 1 rep max every single day, you're getting some good singles throughout the week, some good quality singles without form breakdown. That's going to make you very proficient at the movement. So when we talk about strength development, certainly frequency can be very beneficial. And of course, from the hypertrophy standpoint, if you divide it into smaller sessions, you should acquire great gains, my friend. So some ideas of implementing this strategy would be to incorporate AMRAP sets, which means as many reps as possible. This is very beneficial because I found that guys can push themselves for one set. Like when you go all out for a 10 to 20 rep max, you can really push through the pain no matter how bad your work capacity is. Everybody can put that effort in that one single set. Now, if it's high repetitions, we're talking like 10 to 30 here, and you're doing that multiple times throughout the week, let's say 5 times a week you're doing an AMRAP on your bench press. Well, now you just got about 50 to 100 repetitions on a bench press. So you got very good volume on an exercise that will build all the major muscle groups. And on top of that, you're going to become very proficient at benching. So you're getting a lot done here. You're getting your volume work. It's just more concentrated. Instead of doing, say, a bench press, then a dumbbell bench press, then another press, then some extensions, you're dividing it. You're making the set more intense, maybe even going to failure in some cases. And maybe you're incorporating things like back off sets and drop sets just to make that one set all out. It's kind of like the old school way of thinking of just blasting through that set and then increasing the frequency to go with it, right? And you know what? Even if you don't want to do high reps, that's also fine. You can easily do low repetitions of 5 because, like I said, at the end of the week, you're still getting some good volume. It's about total workload. So if you're just doing a deadlift and you're doing sets of 5, but you're doing that 5 times a week, that's 25 reps on your deadlift. Think about how much volume that is. That's like doing a 5x5 in one workout. Again, it's not as focused in one session. You're dividing it, but you're still getting the work done. So from a hypertrophy standpoint, you should be A-okay. Now, we can debate left and right whether or not this is optimal. Who knows? Some guys would say that the extra frequency could give you a little bit more hypertrophy. Others would say that it's inferior, that you have to stimulate in one session. However, all that we could agree upon for now is that total workload throughout the week or even throughout the year seems to be the most important thing. And the frequency seems to aid in strength development at a rapid rate. But the one downside of this approach, though, is that it's extremely auto-regulated and you have to know your body extremely, like, very well, okay? If you're not an experienced lifter and you attempt to train every 48 hours completely by feel, going by instinct now, you don't have a structured system that is periodized, like pre-written, well, you might experience more plateaus, more overuse injuries, things of that nature. So I would recommend this strategy for those who've been training for a good amount of time, right? Be at least an intermediate lifter before you attempt this, obviously, and more preferably advanced, right? Because those are the guys that are gonna understand how the body works more than anybody else. So if you really despise volume work, listen, you can make up for it with increased frequency. This way your sessions have less in one workout. There's less pumping, there's less exercises. You're still putting in the effort now, but it's more spread out throughout the week, right? So if that's the type of guy you want to be, so be it. So I hope that this gives you some ideas in terms of training. If you have more questions down below regarding volume work and condensing and all that, let me know, and I will talk to you all next time.